What is up, guys? This is Pokemon here, and today we are making a video about the next Pokemon game, Pokemon Pokopia. So if you guys don't know, there's a bit of drama surrounding this game, as well as just some controversy that is going on with it. Now, let me get right into it and say, unfortunately, I probably will still be buying this game, and the reason why I say unfortunately is the next news on this is it's not going to be a true physical release. This is going to be a game that is going to be on a game card or a game key card. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a physical media plastic card that inserts it to give you access to digitally download the game. Now, why is this important? The reason why this is important is, let's say 50 years from now, or even 30 years or 25 years. Let's say Pokemon and Nintendo goes under and they have to close all of their digital download shops. That means that physically, this game would be lost forever without a physical release, meaning nobody could ever play it again unless if they physically, you know, uh, pulled the ROM and downloaded it somehow, some way, and saved that ROM of the game, which is technically in Nintendo's eyes illegal. So, very much been against anything like that. So please don't try that. Okay. Next. Basically, Pokemon Pokopia is doing a lot of other controversial things that people either are for or against, such as using same Pokemon or Gen 1 Pokemon and revisiting them with different ideas or different variants. Some people, like myself, I absolutely love Pikachu, and I also love Mossflax, but some people really, really despise the fact that both of these Pokemon are basically just copy and paste and tweaked a little bit differently than their original counterparts. Now, why does this matter in the grand scheme of Pokemon? Well, firstly, it just depends on. True, this is not actually made by Game Freak. It's made somewhat by Game Freak, but the actual publisher and developer, or let me just say, the developer will be the same people who make Dynasty Warriors. So this is actually a in quote third party Pokemon game, but it's also still a first party IP with it being Pokemon. So this really matters because if this sells really, really well, who knows when Nintendo will say, you know what, the next Pokemon game will also be a game key card, or the next Mario will be a game key card. This could be a really, really slippery slope and can make, the true physical media just unheard of and forever lost. Now, I do want to say, I do think there's a lot of really cool features of this game, such as it's going to be an in between Dragon Quest Builders and Animal Crossing, maybe a little bit of Minecraft, but I really think between Animal Crossing and Dragon Quest Builders, that's where this game's going to kind of lie in between. Or even like the Disney game, I forget what that one is called, but the Disney RPG style of game that came out a couple years ago. It's somewhere in between of all of those games. Now, something I can very much say also too about this game is that people are outraged with the physical media game key card. People are saying, this is going to be the end. I'm not going to continue buying physical media games. I guess I'm not buying this Pokemon game because as this is one of the first games, and I say one of the first games because there has been other Pokemon games, such as the Pokemon Rumble series, where it was totally digital only in the United States. So it's not the first time Pokemon has ever made a digital only Pokemon game, but to a game of this caliber where people are going to be spending $70 on a physical plastic card chip, but there is no data on it, which is a problem. And to me, it just feels like they're rigging the fans. It really does. It makes you feel like you're not owning something when year after year after year, Nintendo has been that one company that has kind of stuck true to real physical media. And unfortunately, with the Switch 2, it just has not stood up to those expectations of what Nintendo is known for. Now let's get into, if this does flop, what does this mean for Nintendo? What does this mean for Pokemon as a franchise? So the first thing I would say, if this does flop, which I do see it not flopping, I do see it though, not maybe recording as many physical copies and seeing more digital copies in general just bought, because more people will just be inclined, well, why do I need to go get a physical version of it if it's not an actual physical game? This could imply, though, if it does have sales that are not exceeding standards or maybe expectations of what they thought they were going to sell, this could really harm future Pokemon games that are maybe, off the wall kind of aspects, and maybe not just your typical RPG style of turn-based Pokemon games, or your standard Pokemon games. This could really damage that. So for that perspective, I do hope, if it does flop or if it doesn't exceed sales or expectations, I really do hope they look at it as, okay, maybe we should make a physical key card of this game, or learn from it for future games, and make sure that every every Pokemon game moving forward is a physical game key card, and not, or a physical game, not a game key card. The other thing that could happen with this game is, if it does flop, Pokemon looks at it as, hey, no matter what, we will never do this with our first IP game. They look at it, they acknowledge that this is not what the fans want, but realistically, I don't see this happening. I see them looking at it as, if it does flop, they're going to say, oh, people aren't just interested in other type of styles of Pokemon games besides the main series games. Maybe they also look at it as, let's stop having these experimental companies, especially Dynasty, like the people who make Dynasty Warriors. It's very interesting to me, because to my knowledge, I looked at like their previous history of what type of games they've made. It doesn't look like they've ever made a game similar to this, so it's very, very interesting. And if they have, you guys can leave a comment below and tell me all about how I'm wrong. But just from my knowledge, it doesn't look like they've ever worked on a project like this before. But that is going to be everything I just wanted to discuss today. Let me know what you guys think of Pokemon Pokopia. Are you going to be buying it, or with this news of it being a game key card, if you're going to not, buy it at all and just kind of move on to the next game? Or are you just done with Nintendo altogether? And if you do want to hear more talks with me on controversial topics with Nintendo and gaming in general, be sure to like the video and leave a sub for me. It's greatly appreciated, so that way you can watch more videos like this. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and of course, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.